Good evening and welcome everyone to the August 24th, 2021 public hearing of the Planning Commission on the City of Plant City Comprehensive Plan Amendments. We thank you for attending this meeting. Your comments and participation is encouraged. To minimize feedback in the audio, all participants in the meeting will be muted until it is their opportunity to speak. Planning commissioners should raise their hand or unmute themselves and turn on their camera to indicate that they would like to speak. Please be sure to state your name at the beginning of your remarks for the benefit of the clerk. There will be an opportunity for members of the public to provide comments. When your name is called, you will be unmuted when it is your turn to speak. Please wait until the chair calls on you to begin speaking. State your name at the beginning of your comments and adhere to the time limits. If anyone has difficulties or is watching via HTV and would like to provide comments to be included in the record for the local government hearing, please email them to planner@plancom.org. That's PLANNER@plancom.org. For those of you who are not familiar with our process, the meeting will be conducted as follows. The agenda item will be introduced. Staff will give their presentation with a 15-minute time limit. The applicant will be given the opportunity to make a presentation with a 15-minute time limit. Following the presentations, members of the public may address the Planning Commission when recognized by the chairman. Public comment will be heard for 3 minutes per person. The applicant will be afforded a 3-minute period for rebuttal or response. Planning commissioners will then ask questions. Public comment will be closed. Then upon a motion, a second, and discussion, a vote will be taken. With that, I will ask the clerk to please call roll.
Good evening, Bernstein. Bernstein. Cardenas. Present. Dickerson.
Renee Kamen for Dickerson.
Dix.
Here.
Dowdy.
Here.
Handy.
Here.
Kress.
Here.
Linkus. Linkus. Was that Linkus?
No.
Marino.
Here.
Powell.
Here.
Rodriguez. Here. And Joseph.
Here.
Thank you. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Before we get started, I have to make an announcement. We have Commissioner Cardenas joining us via the WebEx, and we are going to need to have a motion made by one of the commissioners, right, Tracy, to allow him to be able to vote.
Yes, Commissioner Cardenas has some extraordinary circumstances that prevent him from coming to the meeting this evening. I think he's in quarantine, to be exact. So we do need a motion and authorization of the board for him to participate virtually.
So moved, Commissioner Kress.
And I would second that motion and sincerely thank him for not showing up.
I had one more day. Today's the last day of my quarantine. So.
All right, so we have a motion to approve allowing him to vote remotely by Commissioner Kress, a second by Commissioner Dix. Seeing no more conversation from the commissioners, I'll ask the clerk to do a roll call vote on that item.
Hold on. Dix.
Yes.
Dowdy.
Yes.
Andy.
Yes.
Press.
Yes.
Marino.
Yes.
Powell.
Yes.
Joseph.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0.
Thank you. All right, now on to our first item of business. Ooh, where am I? Okay, Plant City, all right. It's an action item 2A PC CPA 21-05, property rights element for the Imagine 2040 Plant City Comprehensive Plan, and the presenter is Mr. Mark Hudson.
Good evening, Mark Hudson, Planning Commission staff. I'm going to share my screen. Does everyone see it?
Yes.
Right. Again, Mark Hudson, Planning Commission staff. I'm here this evening to present to you actually 4 plan amendments, all text amendments for each jurisdiction in Hillsborough County. and they all relate to the new requirement for property rights elements. And I have some general slides to begin with that will apply to each of the public hearings that are coming up. And we can refer back to those, so not to be repetitive, I will not repeat them for every public hearing, just those specific slides dealing with consistency for each jurisdiction. So a little bit of background. This last legislative session, the Florida legislature passed House Bill 59, which was signed by Governor DeSantis on June 29th. And what that did, that required each jurisdiction in Florida to develop a property rights element, and the Planning Commission has been working since that time to develop property rights elements for our 4 jurisdictions, Plant City, Tampa, Temple Terrace, and Hillsborough County. And the objective of this legislation was to ensure that property rights are considered in the local decision-making processes of each of our jurisdictions in Hillsborough County. Now, our staff analysis and also staff analysis by the jurisdictions indicates that we feel the impacts of this legislation is limited. There was passed legislation that already protects private property rights to a great extent, and also all of our jurisdictions have been very mindful in their past decisions concerning private property rights. However, this is a requirement, and if the jurisdictions do not follow through and adopt these new private property rights elements, the state will impose delays on the processing of future private and public plan amendments initiated after July 1st of this year. These are the plan amendments that we're going to consider tonight concerning the property rights elements, and you can see the order that we're going to hear all of them, and also the plan amendment number that has been assigned to each. So the property rights elements are rather simple, but they do meet the legislative requirement of House Bill 59. Each of them have a single goal, a single objective, and a single policy. And all of them are mimic each other and are identical. So just to give you an idea, this is the example for Plant City. Goal 1, acknowledge private property rights to ensure their consideration in the local decision-making processes of the City of Plant City. The objective is respect private property rights in the City of Plant City. And the single policy, which is policy 1.1.1, comes directly out and is in verbatim from the legislation that was enacted by the legislature and Governor DeSantis on July 1st. I'll leave this up for a moment, but this just shows you the language that was required in these elements based on that legislation. We are processing this for all 4 jurisdictions. This is the timelines that we're looking at. You can see that we anticipate the first jurisdiction to be able to complete this process will be Temple Terrace, followed by Plant City, Hillsborough County, and Tampa City Council. And mainly the variety of dates there reflect the availability of hearing dates and times for each of those jurisdictions. Now, this is specifically for our hearing for Plant City. We did analyze this text amendment with their existing Imagine 2040 Plant City Comprehensive Plan. In particular, we looked at the overarching goals in a future land use element, and those goals are included in their entirety in your packet. And we felt that this proposed text amendment is consistent with each of these goals, and they relate to neighborhood conservation, community development, commercial development, downtown and midtown redevelopment, historic preservation, natural environment, growth management, and economic growth. We also believe the legislation meets the minimum requirements of House Bill 59. We developed this language in conjunction and in cooperation with city staff, and therefore, not surprisingly, they did not have any further comments to provide us after the draft was complete. With that, Planning Commission staff recommends that PCCPA 21-05 be found consistent with the Imagine 2040 Plant City Comprehensive Plan and to forward this recommendation to the Plant City Commission. We will be also sharing this tomorrow morning if anyone cares to join us at Plant City Hall in a presentation to their planning board on the same topic. And with that, that completes my presentation for Plant City, and I stand for any questions.
Thank you. Did we have anyone from the public sign up to comment? Nope. All right, then, I will turn it over to the commissioners for questions or comments. Nope, not Commissioner Dix. Not seeing any lights on. I will close public comment and, Commissioner Powell, please.
Would Commissioner Dix have a question first?
Not
No,
that,
I was
please.
just going to have my motion.
I guess I just have a question for Tracy. In the language, it says that the right of a property owner to use, maintain, and develop and improve his or her property for personal use or the use of any other person subject to state law and local ordinances. Does that mean that, or what would happen if, someone has property that's just, example, R4 and they want to rezone to, R12 and it's allowed in the future land use, but they're not allowed to do that? Like, would that be interfering with their property rights under this language?
What was your question again exactly?
Well, under, on policy 111, there's like four bullet points, and it says the right of the property owner to use, maintain, develop, and improve his or her property for personal use or for the use of any other person subject to state law and local ordinances. So my question is, what happens, or what would happen with this element being introduced? A landowner has a property that's currently R4, I'm just using this as an arbitrary example, and future land use has it as R12. They want to rezone the property to R12 to add the density, but ultimately doesn't get approved. Or would that be infringing on their property rights?
It really doesn't change the way things are done as they exist today. It's just a different element for goals and policies to be considered as, that should be consistent in terms of considering those kinds of changes for consistency with the plan. The facts of each case are unique, and the facts determine the outcome, but essentially, if you're denied a change, there may be potential for you to make a claim that you were denied some property rights.
That's just what I was curious.
Yes.
If I might, I could hear some of the thoughts from some of the other jurisdictions.
Yes, please.
From what I can gather from talking to the legal staffs of the other jurisdictions, particularly Plant City, of course, our hands are somewhat bound by this language. We have to put in this language in the policy based on the House Bill 59, and we don't have too much discretion in changing that. With that regard, we don't believe it particularly has an impact in the way the municipalities in the county operate. And we don't think it would impact the example that you provided, because there are, as the bullet number 2 says, there are other local ordinances that govern. But there are probably going to be challenges throughout the state based on these property rights elements, maybe not locally, but around the state. And ultimately, the interpretations in many ways will have to be resolved in the courts.
Thank you. All right. Are there any more? Yes, Commissioner Handy, please go ahead.
I kind of had the same question, I think. And I see this as opening us up for more lawsuits, because that's going to be one more thing that's going to be thrown out there. If I don't get my rezoning as requested, then my property rights are being denied. The recent rezoning that the county prevailed on an RP2 rezoning, immediately comes to mind. It seems like it's one more tool in the developer toolbox. I do understand that the hands being tied since it came down from Tallahassee. But when I read this, I wonder about also the property rights of the neighbors or the adjacent property owners, and that is probably covered under the subject to state law and local ordinances. But still, it seems like there could be some sort of recognition that adjacent property owners or other property owners that could be affected by an action also have property rights. So I'm not sure if that's something we could speak to.
If I might, this amendment came up pretty suddenly for everybody. The legislature or the governor didn't sign it until late. It has a, the way it was interpreted in Tallahassee, it prevents other plan amendments from being processed until it's adopted, so that everything that's in the queue after the date that it was signed by the governor is in suspense until this is adopted for processing purposes. And as a result, it left everybody, and I follow the local government lawyers listserv site for comments from all over the state of Florida, from other lawyers who are representing local planning agencies as I am, in comments. We took a very conservative position here in terms of looking at the statute, and pretty much adopted what is required in the statute verbatim without adding from it, but certainly not taking anything away from it, because that's what the legislature is requiring. In other words, for consistency, we had to do that at a minimum. So we ended up, after we had a number of conversations about it, taking a fairly minimalist approach, figuring that in the future we could always make other changes to it. But for now, it was essential that it be adopted, at least in accordance with minimum state standards, so that we could process other plan amendments that were sort of getting backlogged in the queue. Just to give you some background and understanding on kind of how this got developed and what the considerations were that went into it.
Thank you. That helps. And I guess the more I read this in detail, I read it as another preemption where Tallahassee tells us what we must do at the local level. So I respect the hands being tied part again. So thanks for the input.
Thank you. Commissioner Marino.
Thank you. And Mark or Tracy, this question is for you. It's first of all, yeah, it's my understanding that anything past July 1st cannot be approved without this amendment. So that's point one. So we're told by the state of Florida, you have to do this, otherwise nothing else is going to happen. But my question is there a can small scale amendments move forward without this? And this is just for clarification, that there are certain types of amendments that are not impacted, so that even if the city of Tampa takes until early 2022, that most of the stuff can go forward. I think that was the first time on Mark's slide that I had even thought about the difference between transmittal and approval. So my concern would be what happens to those projects that are stuck in that middle zone, where even if we have to approve this tonight, but once we approve that, what happens to those projects for each of those 4 jurisdictions prior to the final approval?
Well, that sounds like a separate question or a different question from the one you started on. Mark, if I recall this correctly, small scale plan amendments were exempted for this purpose.
From my understanding from the Department of Economic Opportunities counsel to us is small-scale amendments can go forward, but they ask the jurisdictions to consult with their own legal staff. So they did not weigh in on that, but they do not review them. So theoretically, these small-scale are not impacted.
Yeah.
But they didn't give us a definitive response. They basically redirected us back to the jurisdictional legal staff.
And I would just like to chime in that Mark and all of the plan amendment coordinators we have in-house have been working very closely with the jurisdictional staffs on timing of the hearings so that folks including ourselves, because we have some publicly initiated amendments that are in these cycles, are delayed as minimally as possible. There also was a change in state legislation this year that increased the threshold for small-scale plan amendments to increase that to 50 acres from 10 acres. So more amendments theoretically don't have to have state review. But again, each local government is kind of deciding how they want to proceed with that. I believe, for example, the county is transmitting this to the state before they adopt anything else, just to be safe.
Yeah, and I apologize for kind of combining two there, but that I think clarifies it for me, because I had not thought of that second point. But if that's what the county's doing, then hopefully the other government side is the same thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Marino. Are there any more comments or questions from the commissioners? I just wanted to say I thought it was okay. I didn't see too many issues with it. Obviously, it's something that needs to be developed as we go forward, but I think Mr. Hudson did a good job, and I think it's apropos in times where property owners could potentially get their wetland density credit snatched out underneath them on a whim. I think you sort of need these sorts of protections in places for people's property rights. So it's just my opinion. But seeing no other discussion from the commissioners, I will open it up to motions. Close public comment.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Commissioner Dix.
And let me preface my comments with, that was a nice, sly little put in there about protecting those property rights from wetlands density credits reduction, which I concur with you completely 100%. Even to the point that if I'm not on this commission when it comes for a hearing, I might come before you and speak on that. So appreciate those comments. I certainly concur with Mr. Robbins' analysis, and in fact, we boil it down to saying this is putting this, adopting this is rather redundant and nonsensical. Regardless, the legislature has chosen to put this burden upon every agency in the state to do so, and Mr. Hudson, as always, he and his staff have done a fine job, and I would move that PC CPA 21-05 be found to be consistent with the Imagine 2040 Plant City Comprehensive Plan.
Second.
I got a motion of consistency by Commissioner Dix, and I'm going to give the tie to Commissioner Marino just because I was looking at him. Sorry. So a motion for consistency by Commissioner Dix, second by Commissioner Marino. Are there any more comments on this item from the commissioners? Not seeing any at this time. I will ask the clerk to go ahead and do a roll call vote on this item.
Cardenas?
Yes.
Cardenas? Yes. Dix?
Yes.
Dowdy?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Kress?
Yes.
Marino?
Yes.
Powell?
Yes.
Joseph?
Yes.
Motion carried 8-0.
Thank you very much. All right, that was our only item for Plant City. So with that, I will adjourn the Plant City meeting, and we will move right on into our City of Temple Terrace public hearing. Bear with me just for a second so I can open it up with the official reading. Welcome everyone to the August 24th, 2021 public hearing on City of Temple Terrace comprehensive plan amendments. We thank you for attending this meeting. Your comments and participation is encouraged. To minimize feedback in the audio, all participants in the meeting will be muted until it is their opportunity to speak. Planning commissioners should raise their hand or unmute themselves and turn on their camera to indicate they would like to speak. Please be sure to state your name at the beginning of your remarks for the benefit of the clerk. There will be an opportunity for members of the public to provide comments. When your name is called, you will be unmuted. When it is your turn to speak, please wait until the chair calls on you to begin speaking. State your name at the beginning of your comments and adhere to the time limits. If anyone has difficulties or is watching via HTV and would like to provide comments to be included in the record for local government hearing, please email them to planner@plancom.org. For those of you who are not familiar with our process, the meeting will be conducted as follows. The agenda item will be introduced. Staff will give their presentation with a 15-minute time limit. The applicant will be given the opportunity to make a presentation with a 15-minute time limit. Following presentations, members of the public may address the Planning Commission when recognized by the chairman. Public comment will be heard for 3 minutes per person. The applicant will be afforded a 3-minute period for rebuttal or response. Planning commissioners will then ask questions. Public comment will be closed. Then upon a motion, a second, and discussion, a vote will be taken. With that, I'll ask the clerk to go ahead and do a roll call.
Bernstein? Cardenas?
How's that?
Sorry?
Yes.
Thank you. Dickerson?
Renee came in for Amber Dickerson.
Dix?
Here.
Dowdy?
Here.
Andy?
Here.
Kress?
Here. Here.
Linkets? Linkets? Marino?
Here.
Powell?
Here.
Rodriguez? Here. Joseph?
Here.
Thank you. You have a quorum.
Thank you. All right. I'd just like to remind everyone again that Commissioner Cardenas is remote with us, but we will have the vote from earlier still carry across if I have no dissension from my commissioners. Everybody's in agreement, right? Okay. All right. So moving on from there, now that we've noted that Commissioner Cardenas is voting remotely, we are on Temple Terrace, item number 2, TTCPA 21-02, property rights element for Imagine 2040 Temple Terrace Comprehensive Plan. And to you, Mr. Hudson, again.
Again, Mark Hudson, Planning Commission staff. Can you still see my screen?
Yes.
Right. Not to be repetitive and, to save time, all those introductory slides are also true at Temple Terrace. The language is the same as it was for Plant City as far as the goal, objective, and policy. We did review their proposed proper rights element for consistency with their Imagine 2040 Temple Terrace Comprehensive Plan. The complete goals 1 through 8 are in your packets. They generally cover such issues as future land use, neighborhood conservation, community development, complete streets, downtown free redevelopment, etc., as you can see on the slide. We also feel it meets the minimum requirements of House Bill 59. We did coordinate very closely with their staff, particularly the city administration, their legal staff, and their planning staff, and they did not provide us any additional comments. And our staff recommends that the Planning Commission find TTCPA 21-02 be found consistent with the Imagine 2040 Temple Terrace Comprehensive Plan and afford this recommendation to Temple Terrace City Council. As with the last presentation, I stand for any questions.
Thank you, sir. Just to check that no one signed up in the public for comments on this item. All right, then we will go right to our commissioners for comments or questions on this item. Not seeing any. I will go ahead and close public comment on this item and open it up for motions. Commissioner Powell?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to make a motion that we find TTCPA 2102 consistent with Imagine 2040 and forward it to Temple Terrace City Council.
Second. Thank you. We have a motion for consistency finding by Commissioner Powell, second to that motion by Commissioner Dowdy. Is there any more discussion from the commissioners on this item? No, that wasn't okay. Seeing none, I will go ahead and ask the clerk to do a roll call vote on this item.
Cardenas?
Yes.
Dix?
Yes.
Downey?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Kress?
Yes.
Marino?
Yes.
Powell?
Yes.
Joseph?
Yes.
Motion carried 8-0.
Thank you. All right, that was the only item there, so I will go ahead and adjourn the Temple Terrace public hearing now, and we will move right into the Hillsborough County public hearings. Bear with me one more time while I do this read-through. Welcome, everyone, to the August 24th, 2021 public hearing of the Planning Commission on Hillsborough County Comprehensive Plan Amendments. We thank you for attending this meeting. Your comments and participation is encouraged. To minimize feedback in the audio, all participants in the meeting will be muted until it is their opportunity to speak. Planning commissioners should raise their hand or mute themselves and turn on their camera to indicate that they would like to speak. Please be sure to state your name at the beginning of your remarks for the benefit of the clerk. There will be an opportunity for members of the public to provide comments. When your name is called, you will be unmuted when it is your turn to speak. Please wait until the chair calls on you to begin speaking. State your name at the beginning of your comments and adhere to the time limits. If anyone has difficulties or is watching via HTV and would like to provide comments to be included in the record for local government hearing, please email them to planner@plancom.org. That's PLANNER@plancom.org. For those of you who are not familiar with our process, the meeting will be conducted as follows. The agenda item will be introduced. Staff will give their presentation with a 15-minute time limit. The applicant will be given the opportunity to make a presentation with a 15-minute time limit. Following presentations, members of the public may address the Planning Commission when recognized by the chairman. Public comment will be heard for 3 minutes per person. The applicant will then be afforded a 3-minute period for rebuttal or response. Planning commissioners will then ask questions, and public comment will be closed. Then upon a motion, a second, and discussion, a vote will be taken. With that, I will ask the clerk to do a roll call.
Bernstein? Cardenas?
Present.
Dickerson?
Renee came in for Amber Dickerson.
Dix?
Here.
Dowdy?
Here.
Handy?
Here.
Kress?
Here.
Linkus? Marino?
Here.
Powell?
Here.
Rodriguez? Rodriguez? Joseph?
Here.
Thank you. You have a quorum.
Thank you. All right, on to our first action item, first and only action item, 2A, HCCPA 21-20. It's the property rights element for the future of Hillsborough Comprehensive Plan for unincorporated, oh, wait a minute, yeah. I gotta make a note on the record again before we jump into that Commissioner Cardenas is joining us remotely and that we have voted previously to allow him to be able to take part and vote in this meeting. Making sure I see no dissension. All right, good. Okay, now moving on to our first action item, HCCPA 21-20, property rights element for the future of Hillsborough Comprehensive Plan for unincorporated Hillsborough County. And the presenter again is Mr. Hudson.
Again, Mark Hudson, Planning Commission staff, and as with the two last public hearings, this concerns Hillsborough County's property rights element, the one that's being proposed to fulfill the requirements of House Bill 59. It is HCCPA 21-20. As far as we did do a consistent review for this amendment as well, and we particularly looked at land use objective 1, 4, 9, and 29, and policies 4.1, 9.2, and 29.1. Those complete goals and objectives and policies are in your packets. They relate to issues such as growth management strategy, environmental considerations, economic development, and agricultural general considerations. Again, we feel that this fulfills the minimal requirements of House Bill 59. Early in the process, county legal staff supplied some constructive wordsmithing and some minor edits, which we were able to accommodate not only in the county's property rights element, but the other 3 municipalities as well, and we are appreciative of their participation. And with that, Planning Commission staff recommends that HCCPA 21-20 be found consistent with the future of Hillsborough Comprehensive Plan for unincorporated Hillsborough County, and forward this recommendation to the Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners. Again, I stand for any questions.
Thank you, sir. Were there any comments or questions from the commissioners on this item? Oh, wait, public comment. No public comment? Okay. Now to the commissioners. Questions or comments? Not seeing any lights anywhere. I will go ahead and close public comment and open it up to the commissioners for motions. Commissioner Dowdy, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would move that we find Hillsborough County Plan Amendment HCCPA 2120 consistent with the future of Hillsborough Comprehensive Plan for unincorporated Hillsborough County and forward it to the Board of County Commissioners.
Second.
All right, we have a motion of consistency by Commissioner Dowdy. Second to that motion by Commissioner Powell. Is there any more discussion on this item from the commissioners? I see no lights, so I'll ask the clerk to do a roll call vote on this item at this time.
Cardenas?
Yes.
Dix?
Yes.
Dowdy?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Kress?
Yes.
Marino?
Yes.
Powell?
Yes.
Joseph?
Yes.
Motion carried 8-0.
Thank you. All right. Last but not least, I got to adjourn. That was the last item for this Hillsborough County public hearing, so I'll officially adjourn the Hillsborough County public hearing. We will move right into the City of Tampa public hearing. Bear with me one more time while I go through my script here. Welcome to the August 24th, 2021 public hearing of the Planning Commission on City of Tampa Comprehensive Plan Amendments. We thank you for attending this meeting. Your comments and participation is encouraged. To minimize feedback in the audio, all participants in the meeting will be muted until it is their opportunity to speak. Planning commissioners should raise their hand or unmute themselves and turn on their camera to indicate that they would like to speak. Please be sure to state your name at the beginning of your remarks for the benefit of the clerk. There will be an opportunity for members of the public to provide comments. When your name is called, you will be unmuted when it is your turn to speak. Please wait until the chair calls on you to begin speaking. State your name at the beginning of your comments and adhere to the time limits. If anyone has difficulties or is watching via HTV and would like to provide comments to be included in the record for local government hearing, please email them to planner@plancom.org. For those of you who are not familiar with our process, the meeting will be conducted as follows. The agenda item will be introduced. Staff will give their presentation with a 15-minute time limit. The applicant will be given the opportunity to make a presentation with a 15-minute time limit. Following presentations, members of the public may address the Planning Commission when recognized by the chairman. Public comment will be heard for 3 minutes per person. The applicant will then be afforded a 3-minute period for rebuttal or response. Planning commissioners will then ask questions, and public comment will be closed. Then upon a motion, a second, and discussion, a vote will be taken. With that, I'll ask the clerk to go ahead and call roll.
Bernstein? Cardenas?
Present.
Dickerson?
Renee Himmensberger, Amber Dickerson.
Dix?
Here.
Dowdy?
Here.
Andy?
Here.
Kress?
Here.
Lincoln? Marino?
Here.
Powell?
Here.
Rodriguez? Here. Joseph?
Here.
Thank you. You have a quorum.
Thank you. And again, just want to put a reminder or a note on the record that Commissioner Cardenas is joining us remotely, but we have previously voted and agreed to allow him to vote and take part in the meeting remotely. Just making sure there's no dissension among my commissioners. I see none. Good. Okay. All right. Our first item of business for this public hearing is 2A, TACPA 21-21 property rights element for the Imagine 2040 Tampa Comprehensive Plan. And the presenter is again, Mr. Hudson.
Again, Mark Hudson, Planning Commission staff, as with the 3 last public hearings, this is a new property rights element that's being proposed for the city of Tampa. It is in all respects identical to the three previous ones that you found consistent. Reviewed this one as well by the Imagine 2040 Tampa Comprehensive Plan. Particularly, we looked at the land use goals 1 through 20, which they're in their entirety in your packets. Relating to such topics as livable cities, city planning strategy, central city, urban villages, mixed-use corridors and centers, transit stations, neighborhoods, and land use. And we feel that it is consistent with all those goals, and also the Imagine 2040 Tampa Comprehensive Plan as a whole. We feel it meets the minimum requirements of House Bill 59, again, which was signed by Governor DeSantis on June 29th. Very early in the process, Tampa legal staff provided us some minor revisions and some wordsmithing, which we're not only able to accommodate in their element, but the other three jurisdictions. And we were appreciative of their input into this new element. And with that, staff recommends that the Planning Commission find TA CPA 21-21 be found consistent with the Imagine 2040 Tampa Comprehensive Plan and forward this recommendation to Tampa City Council. And again, I stand for any questions.
Thank you. All right. Still no one to sign up, I presume. All right. We'll send it over to the commissioners for comments or questions on this item. Not seeing any from the commissioners. We'll go on ahead and close public comment and open it up for motions on this item. Commissioner Moreno?
I move that we find TACPA 2121 consistent with the Imagine 2040 Tampa Comprehensive Plan and forward this recommendation to Tampa City Council.
Got a motion of consistency finding by Commissioner Moreno, a second to that motion by Commissioner Doughty. Are there any more discussion, questions on this item from the commissioners? Seeing none, I will ask the clerk to do a roll call vote on this item.
Cardenas?
Yes.
Hicks?
Yes.
Dowdy?
Yes.
Handy?
Yes.
Kress?
Yes.
Moreno?
Yes.
Powell?
Yes.
Joseph?
Yes.
Motion carried 8-0.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Mr. Hudson. On to our next item, 2B. It is TACPA 21-12. It is a comprehensive plan amendment for Robles Park, and the presenter is Jennifer Malone.
Good evening, Planning Commissioners. I hope everybody can see my screen and hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. So this is Tampa Comprehensive Plan Amendment 2112, which is Robles Park. It's located in the Central Tampa Planning District, the Tampa Heights Urban Village, as well as the Tampa Heights neighborhood. It is just south of East Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, west of the Interstate 275, and east of North Florida Avenue. In the surrounding area, there's commercial uses along North Florida Avenue and East Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. This is a place of religious assembly here to the south. We have some more commercial uses. We have residential that kind of abut the site, and to the further south, this is a park with the lake. That's Robles Park, the park, not the site itself. So this is a privately initiated amendment, and it is small scale due to that change that the governor just made, changing the threshold of small scales versus regular amendments. So this will be processed as a small scale at about 30.03 acres, and the request before you is from residential 35 to community mixed use 35. I have some site pictures for you. This is the subject site along East Lake Avenue. Another picture of the subject site. This is the subject site at the intersection of East Lake Avenue and North Avon Street. This is facing north. This is the intersection of East Lake Avenue and North Florida Avenue. The subject site was behind me when I was taking this picture. And then this is the single family detached that's present in the surrounding area at the corner of East Virginia Avenue and North Central Avenue, and you can see the subject site in the distance. The adopted future land use, as I stated before, is residential 35. To the north is residential 20. Further north is community mixed use 35. That's the pink color. The red is community commercial 35. We see that along the North Florida Avenue corridor. Community commercial 35 and community mixed use 35 both allow for commercial uses. The blue is public. That's the place of religious assembly I pointed out earlier. The The green, as I'm sure you all know, is recreational open space. That's the lake, the Robles Park park that is located near the site. And then the orange color is the residential 10. So a lot of this residential 20 to the north and the residential 10 is going to be single family detached as it is developed out. And the proposal is to change this to community mixed use 35, which is the pink color on the map. This would increase the potential of dwelling units through the use of the FAR if the applicant so chooses to do that. So it's still at 35 dwelling units an acre, so about a little over 1,000 existing and potential. However, this will increase the amount of square footage that the property owner could seek. So under the residential 35, the 78,486 square feet of non-residential would only be allowed to be utilized for non-residential if the site met locational criteria. Under the potential, we are looking at about 2.6 million square feet of non-residential or residential square footage, because in the community mixed use 35, the applicant could utilize FAR for residential development entitlements. The proposed designation of community mixed use 35 would also allow consideration of commercial uses on site with no locational criteria due to that land use designation and promoting that mixed use development and promoting those commercial uses in it. So as I'm sure you all are aware, this was developed in 1952 as a 432 unit project-based Section 8 community. There is the historically significant Zion Cemetery discovered through ground penetrating radar in the northwestern portion of the site in the summer of 2019. And I'm sure the applicant will be able to answer any questions and elaborate on that. And I would just also note that the preservation of the cemetery should be accomplished through a rezoning process, and this plan amendment would allow for a redevelopment of the site. So the Planning Commission staff did find this consistent with the comprehensive plan. The comprehensive plan promotes a development pattern that is consistent with the compact city form strategy, which encourages mixed-use infill development within proximity to transit and employment services and directs the city to target the greatest share of growth to urban villages. The site is uniquely situated between 4 major roadways with transit service. That's East Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard to the north, North Florida Avenue and North Tampa Street to the west, and North Nebraska Avenue to the east. Each of these corridors provides employment opportunities, services, transit connections to major destinations throughout the city. So we did find that increasing the density is consistent with these objectives and policies, which encourages new housing on underutilized land, promotes housing choices within close proximity to transit, civic uses, and transit corridors. I will also point out that while the community mixed use 35 designation allows for the commercial general uses and encourages a mixed use development pattern with commercial and residential interacting together, the land development code takes into account buffering and screening requirements that the applicant would be required to do through a rezoning to protect that single family detached uses that kind of surround the site. But it is also adjacent to the same land use it is requesting. That community mixed use 35 is within the surrounding area. It was consistent, and I'm available to answer any questions. I believe City of Tampa staff is on the line, as well as the applicant. Thank you.
Thank you. Does the applicant have any presentation of any sort?
Commissioners, David Smith with Stearns Weaver Miller, Director of Zoning and Development for the applicant. We were not going to provide a formal visual presentation today, but I just wanted to echo the comments of staff. This application is for the redevelopment of a very old public housing development. The idea is to redevelop this for an affordable mixed-income community with integrated commercial. The principal reason for pursuing the amendment is to allow us to have the locational criteria not apply to commercial that we want to have in the project, so we can integrate it based upon the master plan that's moving forward. On the line also, if there are questions, as questions come up from commissioners, we have David Alonia and Leroy Moore from Tampa Housing Authority, Dan Coakley from PGM Affordable. We have Dave Del Tosto and Camille Gooden with Baker Farias. I think staff has done a very good job of presenting the case for why this makes sense. We expect this to be a catalyst, redevelopment opportunity for this area and for the transition of even the North Florida corridor into redevelopment. Right now it's occupied by numerous automotive businesses and services, and we think as the BRT gets going and as downtown continues to grow, this will be a great new mixed-use project that can be connected into the city fabric and enjoy transit and provide great opportunities not only for the residents of the community, but also a catalyst for the surrounding community. We're available to answer any questions that the commission may have.
Thank you. All right. I will open it up to the public then. Do we have anyone sign up for this one?
Yes, we did have one public comment, Tawanda Bradley.
This is Tawanda Bradley.
Please go ahead.
Okay. I don't live in the community, but I do have a home that I rent out on Selma, on the corner of Selma and I can't remember the side street, I apologize, but just a block away. My question is, with this becoming a community mixed and that area being an affordable area, thinking about the projects themselves, when Robo Parks come down and we put up new housing there, would it be affordable for the existing community? In other words, are the homes or whatever's being built, the commercial buildings and all that, will they provide job opportunities for those that live in that area? Also, will those that are currently in that area, alike people, be able to afford the homes that will be built there? Because I have a standalone that's very near. So that's what my concern is. I'm not concerned about my property itself. I do have someone living in my home now that's not income challenged, but it is what it is. But want to make sure that just like I provide affordable housing for that young family, want to make sure that those homes or whatever's going to be built there will also be built where they can afford as well as possible employment. That's my question.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Ms. Bradley, we're not taking questions right now. You're allowed to give a statement if you'd like, but this isn't a Q&A session from the public. The commissioners can ask questions if they'd like, but we're just taking statements from the public right now. So thank you for your statements. All right. Was there anyone else who signed up for public comment at this moment? No? All right. Now I will turn it over to the commissioners for questions or comments. Yes, Commissioner Marino.
Well, did the applicant want to respond, or was that in the...
Applicant, would you like to respond?
I was going to say if there is someone, it's Mr. Coakley or Mr. Moore, I think they could speak to that.
Go ahead. It's Dan Coakley with PMG. I'm happy to speak to that. What we have conceived of here in the new development is about 1,012 units, about 850 of which will be true low-income housing, tax credit, affordable rental housing. And so the first thing that we did when we began the process of putting a master plan together for the project was to spend several weeks talking to residents and members of the Tampa Heights community and the neighborhood. And, you know, one thing that we're committed to and Tampa Housing Authority is absolutely committed to is giving existing residents the first right to come back when these beautiful new buildings are built. So the answer to the question, and I appreciate the question from Ms. Bradley, is absolutely. There are a lot of vouchers available for tenants at this new, in this new development, and there won't be anyone who is an existing tenant who wants to come back who won't have that option to come back. So, we're very focused on making sure that this project is a mixed income project with a variety of income levels represented in the community. Those tend to be the most successful low-income housing tax credit projects. And certainly part of that tenant base will be very, very low income. And so in answer to the second part of the question, we certainly will look to have job fairs and employ as many members of the Robles community and the local neighborhood as possible. The general contractor that we have been speaking to about this project has, an aggressive program of doing just that. So we would definitely intend on trying to create as many jobs within the local community, not only during the development and construction process, but longer term after that.
Good.
Thank you. Yeah, because
Commissioner Assad, this is David Elonia, and I want to add to what Dad just stated in the fact that the actual development that we will be bringing back to the site will also have lots of affordable housing as part of the housing units that will be coming online. And those residents that will be relocated will be given the first right to come back. They will not pay more than 30% of their adjusted income, which will make it affordable for them as well.
Thank you. Good, Commissioner?
Yes, thank you for the applicant clarify that. I think it's important for folks to understand that part. The question I had was, just to clarify, so the portion of the site that would be a memorial, that would come back to us at a later date to be deemed recreational open space, correct? So the reason why this whole thing has to be CC 35 right now is that you don't have a full-blown site plan yet where you'd be able to identify where a feature like recreational open space or education, public, semi-public would be at this point, correct?
The master. Well, go ahead. Who's that? I'm sorry.
Hi, sorry, Dave. Jennifer Malone here, but David Smith, I will let you answer that question if you'd like.
Well, all I was going to say is that the portion of the development, we will be coming back for planned development zoning. The planned development zoning will give the specific locations and ranges for, consistent with the master plan has been publicly met on by the community. And once the PD gets addressed, those areas relative to the Zion Cemetery or any other type of amenities that may be open to the public may then be subject to further plan amendment action to recognize them as you had indicated, either public, semi-public, or preservation. But the PD effort itself will really lay the groundwork for preserving and setting the memorial in place. Also, all of the Zion Cemetery site is not controlled currently, and that is a work in progress.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Marino. Are there any more questions or comments, discussion from the commissioners? Oh, not seeing any lights on in here. I will go on ahead then and close the public comment portion and open it up to entertain motions from the commissioners on this item. Commissioner Marino.
Thank you. Let me get back to my correct page here. I move that we find a proposed future land use designation for City of Tampa CPA 2012 from residential 35 to community mixed use 35, consistent with the Imagine 2040 Tampa Comprehensive Plan, and forward this recommendation to Tampa City Council.
Motion of consistency finding by Commissioner Marino, a second to that motion by Commissioner Kress. Is there any more discussion from the commissioners on this item? Seeing none at this time, I will ask the clerk to do a roll call vote on this item.
Cardenas? Yes. Hicks?
Yes.
Dowdy?
Yes.
Handy?
Yes.
Kress?
Yes.
Marino?
Yes.
Powell?
Yes.
Joseph?
Yes.
Motion carried 8-0.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation and for the information, everyone. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next two items have been continued to September for needing to be renoticed. So item C, TA CPA 21-13, and item D, TA CPA 21-14 have been continued to September. All right. So moving on to item 2E, TA CPA 21-15, Comprehensive Plan Map Amendment, Davis Islands Apex Park. The presenter is Danny Collins.
Hi, everyone. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
This is Tampa Comprehensive Plan Amendments, TA 2115 through TA 2118. These amendments will look at 4 City of Tampa parks throughout the city. Our first park is Davis Islands Apex Park. It's located here on our locational map. Then we'll move north to the Kid Mason Center. And then we'll move down to South Tampa for Friendship Park, and then further south to Port Tampa. Just a quick background of the request. These amendments are publicly initiated by Tampa City Council to recognize existing City of Tampa parks. Each park is listed on the City of Tampa's dedicated park list. All sites would be recognized through the Recreation Open Space designation. The Planning Commission staff conducted a review of the amendments and found the amendments consistent with promoting recreation and open space opportunities throughout the city. Okay, our first amendment is TACPA 2115. It's Davis Islands Apex Park. It's in the Central Tampa Planning District. It's within the Davis Islands neighborhood, and more specifically, it's within the Davis Islands Urban Village. Here's an aerial map of the subject site and the surrounding properties. You'll see it just on the just south of the intersection of Davis Boulevard and East Davis Boulevard. There's predominantly residential uses to the west and south of the site, and then along East Davis Boulevard are non-residential uses. This is an image looking south of the subject site from the intersection of Davis Boulevard and East Davis Boulevard. This is looking southwest at the subject site from East Davis Boulevard. Here is the adopted future land use map. Majority of the site is currently recognized under the residential 35 future land use designation, and then the southern portion of the site is recognized under the residential 10 designation. This is the proposed future land use map showing the subject site under the recreation open space designation. This request would remove any potential of residential or non-residential development from the subject site. Based on these considerations, the proposed map amendment to ACPA 2115 be found consistent with this goals, objectives, and policies of the Imagine 2040 Tampa Conference. You want me to move on to the next one?
No, we'll stop and do this one. I will. Oh, there's publicly initiated, so there is no other presentation. Did anyone sign up for comments? No. Over to the commissioners. Does anyone have any comments or questions on this item? Seeing none, I will go on ahead and close public comment and open it up to motions. Commissioner Powell?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Make a motion that we find CPA 2115 consistent with the mentioned 2040 Tampa Cross-Tampa Plan and forward to Tampa City Council.
Consistency motion by Commissioner Powell and a second to that motion by Commissioner Marino. Is there any more discussion of this item amongst the commissioners? Seeing none, I will ask the clerk to do a roll call vote on this item.
Cardenas?
Yes.
Dix?
Yes.
Dowdy?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Kress?
Yes.
Marino?
Yes.
Powell?
Yes.
Joseph?
Yes.
Motion carried 8-0.
Thank you. 21-16, back to you, Mr. Collins.
Next item is TACPA 2116. It's the Kid Mason Community Center. It's within the Central Tampa Planning District, and more specifically, it's in the Tampa Downtown Partnership Civic Association. Here's an aerial map of the subject site and the surrounding properties. It's on the northeast corner of North Jefferson Street and East Harrison Streets. It's just to the east of Oakland Cemetery, and then it's to the west of the Encore. This is looking northeast at the subject site from the intersection of East Harrison Street and North Jefferson Street. This is an image looking east from North Jefferson Street. Here's the adopted future land use map. Currently, the subject sites are recognized under the Central Business District future land use designation. This is the proposed future land use map showing the subject site under the recreation open space designation. The request would remove any potential of residential or non-residential development from the subject site. Based on those considerations, the Planning Commission staff recommends that the proposed map amendment TACPA 2116 be found consistent with the City of Tampa Comprehensive Plan. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Was there anyone sign up for this one, Ms. Ordina? Nope. All right. Over to the commissioners for comments or questions on this item. Not seeing any at this time. I will close public comment and open it up to motions from the commissioners on this item.
I move that we find the proposed future land use designation change for City of Tampa CPA 2116 consistent with the Imagine 2040 Tampa Comprehensive Plan and forward this recommendation to Tampa City Council.
Consistency finding motion by Commissioner Marino. A second to that motion by Commissioner Dowdy? Yeah, okay. I thought you were pointing over there. By Commissioner Dowdy. Is there any more discussion on this item from the commissioners? Not seeing any. I'll ask the clerk to do a roll call vote on this item.
Cardenas?
Yes.
Dix?
Yes.
Dowdy?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Kress?
Yes.
Marino?
Yes.
Powell?
Yes.
Joseph?
Yes.
Motion carried 8-0.
Thank you. 2117, back to you, Mr. Collins.
Next item is TACPA 2117. It's Friendship Park. It's in the South Tampa Planning District. More specifically, it's in the Virginia Park. Here's an aerial map of the subject site and surrounding properties. It's on the southeast corner of South Lois Avenue and West Beta Bay Boulevard. You'll see by the imagery that the surrounding development pattern is predominantly residential in character. Here is an image of the subject site looking northeast from North Lois Avenue. This is walking along West Beta Bay Boulevard, and the subject site is on our right-hand side. Here's the adopted future land use map. Currently, the subject site is recognized under the residential 10 designation. Here is the proposed future land use map recognizing the site under the recreation open space designation. This request would remove the potential of 9 dwelling units, or just under 14,000 square feet of non-residential development from the subject site. Planning Commission staff recommends that the proposed map amendment to TACPA 2117 be found consistent with the City of Tampa Comprehensive Plan. And this concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Is there anyone sign up for this one? No. Over to the commissioners for any comments or questions on this item. Not seeing any, I will go on ahead and close public comment and open it up to motions on this item from the commissioners. Commissioner Marino?
I move that we find the proposed future land use designation change for City of Tampa CPA 2117 consistent with the Imagine 2040 Tampa Comprehensive Plan and forward this recommendation to Tampa City Council.
Second.
Oop, that's a motion of consistency by Commissioner Marino. You want a second to that motion by Commissioner Handy? Is there any more discussion of this item from the commissioners? Seeing none, I will ask the clerk to go ahead and do a roll call vote on this item.
Cardenas?
Yes.
Dix?
Yes.
Dowdy?
Yes.
Handy?
Yes.
Kretz?
Yes.
Marino?
Yes.
Powell?
Yes.
Joseph?
Yes.
Motion carried 8-0.
Thank you. 2118, back to you again, Mr. Collins.
Our last item for tonight is TACPA 2118. It's Port Tampa Park. It's in the South Tampa Planning District, and more specifically, it's within the Port Tampa City neighborhood. Here's an aerial map of the subject site and surrounding properties. You can see by the imagery that the surrounding area is predominantly residential character. This is looking northwest at the subject site from West Lancaster Street. This is looking west from West Lancaster Street. Here's the adopted future land use map. You'll see a majority of the subject site is currently recognized under that recreational open space designation. Just this eastern portion of the subject site is recognized under that residential plan designation. Here is the proposed future land use map recognizing the entire site under that recreational open space designation. This request would remove the potential of residential or non-residential development from the subject site. Based on those considerations, the Planning Commission staff recommends that the proposed map amendment TACPA 2118 be found consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the Imagine 2040 Comprehensive Plan. And this concludes my presentation.
Thank you for hanging in there with us, sir. All right. No, was there anyone sign up for the public on this one? Nope. All right. Opening it up to the commissioners for questions or comments on this item. Seeing none, closing public comment and opening it up to motions from the commissioners on this item. Commissioner Powell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to make a motion that we find TACPA 21-18 consistent and forwarded to Tampa City Council.
Second.
All right, a consistency motion by Commissioner Powell that was seconded by Commissioner Dowdy. Is there any more discussion from the commissioners on this item? Seeing none, I will ask the clerk to do a roll call vote.
Cardenas?
Yes.
Dix?
Yes.
Dowdy?
Yes.
Handy?
Yes.
Kretz?
Yes.
Marino?
Yes.
Powell?
Yes.
Joseph?
Yes.
Motion carried 8-0.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the presentations, Mr. Collins. That is our last item. So with that, I will adjourn this meeting. Thank you, everyone, for your time, and have a good night.
Good night. Safe trip.